Well, I would have, she has to.
Motion on the floor by Ms. Moore, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, so the consent agenda is now approved, and we will move on to old business with the CARES update.
Sent you guys by email, but.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. All right. Okay, so we have 1 month left to spend our money, so I wanted to bring you guys up to date on where we are. We have, if you look at the right-hand column, we have about $1,450 for the public safety shelter. That we can roll into the savings line if we need to, but that was just, 80,000 was an estimate. It came in at 78,500. 31,754 left in the small business grants. I just got 2 more today, so I'm pretty sure all that'll be gone in the next couple of weeks. We have 2 savings lines. Those will change depending on what gets spent out of the other lines at the end of the year, at the end of the thing. The schools have assured me that they are going to use the 141. 140. She came by today, and they've already got another 88,000, so I have no doubt they're going to draw all this money. Miscellaneous COVID expenses, that includes a lot of different things, PPE, some of the smaller projects you guys approved, overages and shortages on some of the other projects will go there. So anything left of the 116, I feel confident we can roll into the savings line. And then public safety, I just got an email back and talked to Sam because he's out of town. Of the 72,000, 42 of it was for a stretcher, and he says he has ordered it, and the rest of it's for PPE, and they're getting ready to place those orders. So I'm pretty confident that what's left in that column will be spent. I don't believe we'll be sending any money back.
Very good.
Any
Are you confident that we'll have everything in place so that we don't have to give any money? I mean, that all the contracts that we've got left will be done?
Yes. Yes, they have been very busy. I can tell you the ductwork and the ionization stuff that was being done, about 400,000 between all that HVAC. They were in my office Wednesday afternoon as we were leaving before Thanksgiving to put mine in. So yeah, they've been all over the county for that big project. They're currently working on door locks. They're currently grading and getting ready for the new restrooms at the parks. But that everything's kind of rolling in right at the end. But I've been assured by everyone who's got a piece of this puzzle that everything's going to be here.
Very good. Board members, any questions? Thank you, Ms. Wilkes.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, ma'am. The first item is simply the quarterly update to let you all know that there is a seat on the Board of Zoning Appeals and 2 seats on the Economic Development Authority that are becoming open in the next couple of months. So to do your own personal recruiting efforts, if you'd like, we will advertise those positions as we do typically.
Has there been any indication from the EDA that those people want to continue to serve, or too early yet?
Not yet. It's too early. We try to do this the quarter ahead so that you all can begin doing your own research to the extent that you want to. So we haven't, Regina will approach them and their board chairs, but not yet, not until the month before. But if there's no questions, the next one is an actual vacancy that it's time to fill, and the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Development Board. Jojo Alcock's seat is about to expire at the end of this month. And we advertised the position. Ms. Alcock would like to retain her seat, and we did have an expression of interest from Marie Patron, but no other additional information, though we requested it on a couple of different occasions. So we just have her email saying that she's interested, but no resume or anything like that. So the question below the board is, do you want to reappoint Ms. Alcock, or would you like us to continue advertising or schedule interviews for she and Mr. Trump.
Everything I've heard said that Ms. Alcock's done a fabulous job.
Yeah, I sit on the board as a liaison, and Ms. Alcock is very involved. So I would be fine with reappointing her.
Would you like to make a motion, Mr. Martin?
I would, he's from District 4, so I don't want
Okay.
to bring in.
Mr. Martin, you're more than welcome to, sir.
Okay, well, thank you. I make a motion that we reappoint JoJo Alcock to the Park and Recreation Board.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ms. Alcock's now reappointed. If you can share that with her. Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, ma'am. The next is just my project status report to see if anyone has any questions. Almost all of the items have been updated. With regard to broadband in general and CVEC, you know, they're working on 3 different areas. We're calling Boxwood Farm, Temperance, and the Gladstone area. They are working now. They have crews in place. I think there's 3 crews going on in the Temperance area, laying the spine in as they're passing houses. They hope to have those fiber spines done by the 11th of December, and then they will begin hooking up houses along the way. And that will continue on for months and months. But we'll have at least 1 house hooked up by the 30th of December on each one of those. They have not yet started the Gladstone line. It comes out along 60 East toward the town, but they're not worried about that. They actually going to start this week because that's pretty much a straight shot. That's, so they're not worried about that. There's no difficulties along that line. We've also got reassurances from Mr. Wood, Gary Wood, that if Firefly misses any of the 30 December deadlines, they'll cover it. So we have to give money back, they'll cover it. So I think we're in good stead on that. The mobile units for the school, we're still trying to track down that information from SCS. They sent us a letter notifying us that there might be a delay. The solar panels that they received for mounting on the trailer, some of them were cracked and broken, so we've got to replace those. They have been reminded from multiple sources that they've got to get it done by 30 December if they're going to get paid for it. So beyond that, does anyone have any particular questions?
If they don't get the schools done by the end of the year, we have to give the money back. And what happens to them? Or they're out the money that they already invested in those trailers, correct?
Unless we want to use our other broadband money, or the schools want to use their other broadband money that's not subject to deadline. Yeah, that was the understanding from the beginning, that you are assuming this risk. You are, we're only taking the contracts, the offers, the solicitations, the proposals. They can be done by 30 December, or you won't be paid.
My recollection, not having the contract in front of me, but my recollection was the way that I drafted the contract was they will get paid for all the work that's done by 30 December. But even if they aren't finished, they're still obligated to complete all of the work by the end of January. And if they don't, then we get to start going after them. But any work they do after the 30th of December is on their own nickel, but they're still obligated to finish it.
Thank you.
And that's all I have, ma'am.
All right, liaison committee reports, board members, any questions there? Other county attorney, you have good news for us?
I don't know, Madam Chair, I wanted to say a word, and this is both a request and sort of a piece of information. I've been very blessed in my life that I have been very successful. I'm in demand to do my specialties, which are economic development, infrastructure, and public finance all over the state. And in order to provide the services to you that you expect, as well as to take the other business that I'm bringing in, which again is a huge blessing, I've been working 12 to 15-hour days. I can't keep doing that. It's not good for my health. It's also not good in terms of, I want to be home tonight in order to do the first day of my Advent calendar with my daughter. I am therefore, assuming you're okay with it, requesting that my colleague in my office, Mark Popovich, do more of the work, take a heavier burden of the load of working with Amherst. I intend still to remain working primarily with, being the primary attorney, working with economic development, the finance department, and the service authority. But I know that Mark, frankly, at this point in our careers, he is better than I am at personnel and routine contracts with people, and that he can do all the other normal stuff for the board. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. And let me know it also, he spent 8 years as the county attorney full-time in Alawite County. It's not as though he's some hiker that I brought in off the street. If it's okay with you, I would like to share more of the load, have him come to some of the meetings and be a little bit more, frankly, I'm trying to be personally, I think we know each other at this point well, and I'm trying to be personally upfront with you that I'm trying to be fair to you and fair to myself and fair to, honestly, as flattered and blessed as I am to have other people who want me. Is that all right by you if I start doing that a little bit more?
Mr. Martin, we're all just kind of looking at each other. What are your thoughts?
So my mouth kind of dropped it, but
Well, join the crowd.
I'm sorry?
I said, join the crowd. I think ours did too. Is there, I guess what's likely my first response is, I'm happy for you. I mean, you're obviously a good attorney and that's recognized throughout the Commonwealth, and that's great for you. Secondly, I absolutely applaud your commitment to want to spend more time with your family. Good for you. Knowing you as I do that is not coming as a surprise to me, and good for you. I guess I'd like to see something, a little bit more of a structure as to what we can expect. I mean, I understand that he'll be taking, a little bit more of the load, but that's a little vague. So if we could get a little bit more structure around that, that would make me happy. Board members?
I can absolutely do that, and I merely wanted to broach the subject, and obviously I want to make sure that there's introductions and everybody feels comfortable with him, because if you don't, or if there's any problem, guess what? My name's on the letterhead at the top for my firm. I'm accountable for it, and I recognize that. And so and what's more, over the last 4 years of working with you, I've gotten to the point that I care about you personally. I got to the point where I spend my days off in Amherst County a lot of the time just because it's beautiful. There's a lot of stuff to do here, and some good people and some good places to hang out here. But I also need to be fair to the fact that I can't work 12 to 15 hours a day
Right.
indefinitely.
We understand that. Board members, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, he's his own man, he can do as he so chooses. So, I mean, if that's where you feel you need to be, then I'm fine with that. It would be nice to have a plan, and I guess it depends on how we feel about your partner, and if we feel like he fills the role that we're looking for our attorney to fill. Maybe it's a time for us to also to just look and see what we are spending on our contract, and just take a look at the whole picture. Yeah. As far as that's concerned, I'm not saying we would change anything, but let's just look at some of that. What are we spending? What are we getting? And maybe take a look at the balance sheet on that. So.
Mr. Ayers, did you have anything you want to add?
Totally understand Mr. Markbee's position, and I'm okay with it as long as, I feel comfortable in his recommendations of his partner being here, that he is very competent to deal with matters that may arise, and, I'm okay. I mean, I feel comfortable there. legal obligations will be represented based on, Mr. Locke's firm and what he's done, and I'm sure that his partner will represent the firm just as well.
And Vice Chair?
I think we just stood in shock that you're the only attorney I've ever known. But no, I applaud you for recognizing that you can no longer do that and be committed to all the things that you need to take care of. So I trust you and your judgment, so.
Well, let's be clear, I would still be coming to a good portion of the meetings. I would guess I would probably come to a third and a half of the board meetings. And I would still be the primary person working with Victoria Hanson and with Stacy Wilkson, with Bob Hopkins on the issues in their departments. It would be more along the lines of Mark maybe coming to some of the board meetings in order to work on the presentation of items, providing parliamentarian services, and just being here and working through the bylaws, working with Linda Warner on the HR department, working with David Prophet on, I say routine, nothing is routine with procurement, but the standard contracts of, hey, we're going through the 5 engineering firms that we have on contract, going through and managing the RFPs for all of that. That would be a lot of the way that I would see it dividing up. And frankly, when there's something politically sensitive or when you need somebody to personally call, you guys have had and will continue to have my personal cell number. You can call any time of day or night. And I have gotten text messages at 5 a.m. from Jimmy and phone calls from Claudia at 9 p.m. So certainly don't feel embarrassed about that.
I was embarrassed a bit.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir, Mr. Martin.
so without getting too specific, what about some of our pending cases that we have?
As far as it goes, the pending case with the Gallimore case, I'll continue to be lead counsel on that case. We have one other case right now that we've been served with. It's a case against, that has to do with the animal shelter. That has been taken over. Basically, it's against the sheriff's office. We're just sort of the very tail end of that. And that insurance has taken coverage of that 100%. So that's where all that litigation goes. And again, I would continue managing that litigation if it was taken by the insurance. Do it myself if it wasn't. If it was taken by the insurance, typically either I or somebody in my office, or in the case of this case against the sheriff, it's oh my gosh, I've forgotten her last name. Her name's Rosalie. She's out of Stanton. She's great. I work with her often as litigation counsel, and she'll do a nice job for the sheriff's office. Rosalie and Carlene are the two that oftentimes work in the sheriff's office instead of us.
Mr. Martin, does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
All righty then. Congratulations on your success.
Yeah, thank you, man. I've been very blessed, and there's sad moments like this about that as well.
I think you can get over it. All right. Anything else?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All right, liaison and committee reports, board members, any questions? Nothing?
No.
All right, moving on to citizen comment. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing and hearing none, we'll close citizen comments. Matters for members of the board, Mr. Ayers.
No, ma'am, I have not.
Mr. Martin, do you have anything for matters of the board?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Pugh?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Moore?
We haven't heard back from VDOT for Seminole and the cemetery after your last email.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'll ping them again.
Thank you.
I've got one question. The intersection of 151 and 29, I'd heard that maybe VDOT might expedite their improvements there. Have we heard anything about that?
Not that they would expedite the improvements, but they'll consider some temporary improvements. That too, I'm waiting to hear back on.
All right, I don't have anything else. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Ayers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed, no. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. That was the fastest meeting we have ever had, I think.
Is that it?